Welcome, everyone, to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. Tonight, we're going to talk about Steam and a practice that we all love, but maybe might be bad for indie developers. We're going to talk about Steam's 2-hour refund policy that has basically led to an indie developer saying they're quitting the game development scene. So a new debate has basically come up about Steam's 2-hour refund policy. It's basically a pro-consumer policy. They did it for the consumers. If you download a game and if you played less than 2 hours of it, you can return it for a full refund. Recently, a game developer came out, a developer called Emika Games. They came out with a game called Summer of 58, which I guess has a completion time of 90 minutes. And it seems like that policy has failed this indie developer, with plenty of players exploiting this, beating the game, and then returning it within the time frame for a full refund. So basically, Emika Games said on Twitter that they love the support, but they're leaving the game development for an indefinite amount of time because of the sheer number of refunds they've had to process for this game, because it can be beat under 2 hours. So we'll kind of discuss that amongst ourselves. What do we all think about that? Is it time for Steam maybe to rethink that policy, or maybe split that policy into what it means if they need to change policy, whether it's 2 hours, 1 hour? What do they need to do to make this policy work for everybody, or do they need different tiers? So how about this round? Let's go with Nick. Why don't you give us your thoughts on this policy from Steam and tell us what you think? What are your thoughts? How can they make it work? And, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, it sucks for this indie developer. I think the policy overall is good. I think it would probably be best for Steam to split this into two different categories. If you're an indie developer, you have this certain refund policy, maybe like 30 minutes, right? After 30 minutes, you can't refund it. And then if you're a big game publisher, then you still have the 2-hour window, right? Because I'm sure they can and maybe it's something where, I don't know how the process goes, but maybe whenever the indie developer puts out, if it's something where they have to tell Steam they are an indie developer, maybe it's some sort of form they have to fill out, that can flag it and say, okay, this is an indie developer and we need to, stick this certain type of policy on there. I think that would be the best because, a lot of indie games, and not all of them, but a lot of indie games are not big productions that are hours long, right? I mean, some indie games are short. And not to say that they're not great games. Some of them can be really great, at like an hour or so or 2 hours worth of gameplay. Can be a really great indie game. But if you can just beat the game and turn around and refund it, that's not really fair to the developer. And even though Steam has this, it's kind of, crap for the gamers to turn around and especially if they enjoyed the game and beat it and liked it, to turn around and refund it. That's kind of a crappy move for them as well. But you can't really control all the people out there, unfortunately. So Steam's going to have to look at some sort of alternative for these indie developers. I don't think they should get rid of the 2-hour window thing, but for indie developers, they should look at some sort of alternative refund policy for them in particular. But what do you think, Shane?
Yeah, I agree with you. The problem with, and I am pro refund policy. I am pro that 2-hour thing, definitely. But I agree. It does need to take into account for certain games. Bright Memory, I beat in 8 minutes. Now, if I can turn around and play that entire game in 8 minutes and just return it for, the $8 I paid for, whatever it was, that's BS. That's bad on me because that's a crappy person. The people that were doing this to this developer should feel really, really crappy about themselves because they put a developer basically out of business because they were being greedy little bastards. They enjoyed their game. That's the problem, is everybody seemed to enjoy the game. And because of their selfishness and their greed, they pushed them out of business. Plain and simple. I am pro customer. I believe business has way too much power, but this is one of the reasons that businesses have the power to do, because people make stupid ass decisions for own self gain. I think games like this that are short, bright memory that are short, I think they should probably implement something a little bit more. The developer could say, "Hey, Steam, I can't do the 2-hour policy because of my gameplay time." So I think Steam should just have a few people jump in there and say, "All right, well, let's check it out." And they play through it and they say, "All right, we did it in an hour and a half. You got 15 minutes, 20 minutes to play it and return it." And typically a game you can play for 20 minutes and go, "Yeah, I got a feel for this," or "I don't." And that's, not everybody, but for me, that's about typical. So I think that's probably the smarter way to implement it for smaller developers with, shorter games. But it also, again, it truly comes down to sad people who do this because they can. That's it. And it breaks my heart. I wouldn't have done it to this developer because I can imagine how much time and love and passion they put into this. And to have people that they wanted to love and enjoy it do that very thing they fought for and worked hard for, to turn around and then bone them. That's just wrong. But I'm getting pissed off about this the more I think about it. So, Pat, fire away, buddy. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. It really sucks. And those people who did that, who played the entire game and then turned around for a refund, should be very ashamed of themselves. I mean, it's a $9 game at full price. And right now it's on sale for $6.92. So if you played this game for an hour and a half and then did a refund, you're a douchebag. That's all there is to it. You're just a dumbass, and you need to stop playing games because you are the reason why the industry hurts because of the way it does, because people like you are unscrupulous people. You're taken away from a small, I think it's like one guy. Emika Games is like one guy, I thought. And he's put out like 3 games. And they all are very highly rated on Steam. I've not played any of them because they're a horror generation. I'm a little outside of my realm in that, but I almost want to go buy the game now just to support this guy, because I'm like, you guys, I cannot believe there's enough people in the gaming industry that are so selfish and they can't afford to pay $9 for a game where it's so much worth them to go and play the game and beat it to get a refund. And I can also see it from Steam side, right? Steam has to vet that out. Now, if I'm an indie developer and I say, hey, my game is 90 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour, they have to put people on that to vet that out, because that can be abused, just like the 2-hour policy can be abused. Now, I know Steam does. If you use that service too many times, they'll stop you from doing it. They'll actually put a notice on your account that you can no longer request a refund for X amount of time because you've abused or used the system too much. So it's horrible that we have people out there that do this. And I applaud Steam's pro-consumer policy with 2-hour, because there are games that I played and I'm like on the fence for like an hour and I'm like, God, I mean, I hate this. I mean, we've all, Microsoft and some other companies do that as well, but I very rarely do it. Only way I'll do it is if I put in like 15 minutes and I'm like, I hate this. I absolutely hate it. But I'd like to think I do enough research to know if I'll get an hour or 2 out of it, that if I put an hour in it, I think I might go back to it. I'm not going to refund it. That's my, but Steam has got to spend money if they want to vet this process out. But I do think they need to probably break the category down. As you guys said, we need a 2-hour game span and then a less than 2-hour game refund policy. And I don't know what that looks like. Is it a 30-minute for the less than 2-hour long games? Is it a 15-minute, or is there no refund policy for those games that are under an hour and a half? Because those games, as we've all tended to say, they're like your $10, $15, and $20 games. Usually if they're $30, you're getting an 8 or 10 hour gameplay out of them. But for this stuff that's below $15, you watch some gameplay videos on YouTube, do something, watch the game trailers. So I feel really bad for this Emika Games studio developer. I hope that they come back and that the community supports them, because this is as a gamer, it should make you feel ashamed that there's people like that out there that would hurt an indie developer studio like this. A guy, or even if it's 2 or 3 people, I don't care. You're basically taking food away from their families. You're taking money away from their families because you're too much of a dirtbag to pay $9.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
And one thing that these little chicken shits aren't even thinking about is you bought the game, you played the game, you enjoyed the game, you returned the game. This guy makes no money, like you said. That's his family. That's his food on his table. But you're also screwing yourselves, you little dirtwads, because this person could have put out another game that blew your mind. But he can't do it now because you greedy little shit stains took all his money away. And you're disgusting, and you should feel. I'm getting pissed off. Pardon me. I just hate. Wrestler. I do. I hate people like this. It's not like this guy or guys are out here, scamming and screwing people over with a game they said is XYZ, and it turns out to be just a big pile of crap. No, he made a game you guys enjoyed, and that's it. He made something you enjoyed. Don't deprive him of, what he's rightfully earned. It's not like a scumbag scalper out there who's just taking off of a person and milking that. He worked for it. They developed it. They created it. They thought about it. They put it out there. And you pieces of crap are, hurting them. And that's wrong. I'll get off, as Russ would say, my soapbox. But, any moral person would know that this is wrong. And the problem is we're starting to lose a little bit of that moral shit around this place. So,
all right. Yeah, like I said, it looks like they put out 3 games. What Emika, now I believe it's a solo developer. Emika is a guy or girl, I don't know. Mm-hmm. They put out 3 games, and there's a 4th game in development, TBA. And they put out demos for 2 of their games, mind you. 2 of their games have a free demo. So and everything is favorable. Everything I'm looking on here is that 89. Like I'm looking at their games, and the Summer of 58 one. 88% out of 312 reviews is positive. That's a pretty high score against gamers. If you're looking at 88% and everything is 80% or higher that he's put out. Find Yourself is another game, 89% positive, Locked Up 80%, and that's the lowest of the games that they've got on review. So people just need to figure out what Steam needs to do something. In my opinion, all those people, because Steam can tell how long you played the game, all those people that played for an hour and a half, Steam needs to reverse that and be like, sorry, you're being a dirtbag here. Let's take that and put it back in their wallet, because you basically stopped an indie developer who seems to have been putting out games for the last 2 years. So,
yeah,
good job,
right.
douchebags.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, Steam, they have achievements and crap like this for this game. They have all this knowledge. If it shows you beat it and you're trying to get a refund, they should lock your goddamn computer up for all I care. I think that's bull crap.
I think we should support this developer. I went ahead and they have all 3 games in a bundle for $21.52. I went ahead and just bought it. I think all of us as a community should go out there and purchase these games from this developer, and show that, the whole gaming community, or the community as a whole, is not a bunch of douchebags. Yes. And we'll go out there and support these indie developers, because, we like our big budget games, but man, have we played some awesome indie games. Yep. And, that's just, indie games are leading the force. I mean, Gamescom just happened recently and it was okay, but the indie games they showed off were awesome looking. So, that was the one thing I was most excited about, was a bunch of the indie games they showed off. So yeah, go out there and support this developer. Go down to Steam, buy these games, buy Summer of 58, and all the other ones, Locked Up, and there was one other one that he made, or she made, or the developer made. I can't remember the name of it, but and like I said, I agree with you, Patrick. Maybe that might be a better way to go. If your game is $15 or less, the refund policy doesn't apply, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that maybe that's the best way to go for it. Unless it's an on sale game, like, if it's Grand Theft Auto and it's on sale for $15, then the 2 hour apply. But if its original price is $15 out of the gate, it doesn't apply to you. Sorry, you're out your $15 if you don't like it.
Right. Yep. I did the same thing. I don't like horror games, but I just spent the $21.52 for the bundle, which is 26% off right now. So I don't like horror games, but I also don't like to hear about people taking advantage of an indie studio, or anybody in general. I don't like anybody taking advantage of somebody. But this is This is a low dirtbag move. I can't believe there's such people out there that are doing such a mass refund. I mean, the first game that came out with is $7, followed by a $12.99 game and a $8.99 game. Come on, guys. Stop being dirty. Stop being such, I don't even know how to say it. I just want to lay out a tirade of curse words, but I also don't want to be like the incoherent backwoods guy. But I would take you guys behind the woodshed and beat you with the leather strap if I can get a hold of you for doing that crap.
Yeah, and it sounds like their parents should have been doing it the whole freaking time.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't do that, guys. That's dirty and low.
I mean, I bought games. I bought games that I didn't like, but if they were cheap like that, I don't refund them. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't like it, but that's all right. I only spent like $10 on it, so whatever. Right. I'm still supporting this developer. Maybe this developer, like Shane said, maybe later down the line they'll make something really awesome that I really like. So and this person or this developer in particular, like Patrick was saying, has made some highly rated games on Steam. So clearly they're making some good stuff. Let's support them and support the other indie developers out there by purchasing their games and not refunding them.
Yep. Agreed. So cool. I did the same thing. I just bought it. It's $21.52. I got 3 games that I may not ever play because I don't like horror games, but you never know. Who knows what happens? I may try out these. I mean, they look like they look fantastic.
I want to try out Summer of 58. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah. It looks pretty scary to me. So,
I just paid my mortgage, so I will get it on my next paycheck.
But yeah, we all support them. And we are sorry to hear, Emika Games, that this has happened to you. I hope that, it sounds like you're getting a lot more. I don't know. I hope you're getting a lot less than half of returns. I hope it's a lot less than that. But I can understand if somebody's asking for a refund on $9 and you sold 300 copies and you're getting half of it refunded, then why? Why waste your time, right?
Yeah. So. Support Emika. Go to their websites, go to their Twitters, go to their, front door, put up balloons. I don't care. Support them. Show them that not everybody is garbage. Not everybody is that sad and pathetic to do this to them. So buy their games, send them love, and just, freaking be just decent. That's all I ask.
If you can afford $21 to help these people out, 22 if you want to count, it's $21.52, then I say support them, even if it's not your gameplay. I mean, the games look gorgeous. I'm a graphics snob, as we all know, and I think they look pretty for a solo indie developer. They're outside of my schema because they're scary, but I don't mind supporting somebody for $22.
Yep, those are right up my alley.
Right. You don't need to go to Starbucks 4 times in a week. You can take that $5 and add it up and throw it to your indie developer. Cool.
Yeah, and get 3 games out of it. So
right, 3 games. You get something to entertain your time with.
3 new games that I'm going to play. So that's awesome. Support your indies.
Yep. Cool. So anybody else want to say anything before this devolves into a tirade of incoherent bad mouthing of people?
Just to the people that did it.
All right. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode of It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. Make sure you like and comment on the video. Let us know what your thoughts are. Head on over to the Twitter and tag them in some stuff. Let them know that you support them. And tag us with it. We're going to do the same thing.
There will be a link to their Steam page in the description down below, so you can click on it if you'd like to go to Steam and purchase their games and support this developer.
Awesome. Please do support them, support us. We got to support each other, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this episode and hope to catch you in the next one.
See ya.